Hello, hello. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate your time. I am Sharon, Terrasphere 25. We are going to do another mystery. This is from 1945. It happened on a Christmas Eve in Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family fire. And it's a doozy. I'll tell you what. I don't even know what to think about this, but we're going to get the lights out. Going to pull some cards from the dormant tarot deck and see if we can get any further enlightenment as to what really happened that night. So the Sodders were a family of 12. There were 10 children. Happy family. The dad owned a company, some sort of truck. They did something with trucks or something. So they had like ladders and all the, coal. They maybe moved to coal in trucks or something. So it was Christmas Eve, and at midnight, the phone rings, and it is wrong number. And Jenny had answered the phone, the mother. There's George and Jenny and the 10 kids. And she could hear laughing, clanking glasses in the background. And then she said, "I'm sorry, you have the wrong number." And the lady laughed and hung up. At 1 a.m., a fire breaks out. Fast and furious. So the fire department gets called. The fire department had its own issues. The fire chief didn't know how to drive the truck. He had been the chief for 8 years, but didn't know how to drive the truck. It's also Christmas, so getting everybody contacted to come and help, and it's like it was a big fiasco. So the fire broke out at 1. The fire department made it at 8 in the morning. George furiously tried to save everybody. 5 of the children and his wife got out. 5 children supposedly perished in the fire. There was a ladder. It was too short to reach to the upper level. Then he tried to use the ladders off his truck, even though they were working the day before. They were incapacitated and were not working. The water that they had access to was frozen. The rainwater. It's just a terrible situation. Terrible. All right, so the house burns down. The 5 children are never found again. And let's go with that part. So there's Maurice 14, Martha 12, Louis 9, Jenny 8, and Betty, who was 5. They all, so said, perished in the fire. The only bone fragments that were found, and there was a famous pathologist that was brought in, Hunter. He was brought in, and he was hired by George and Jenny to work privately as a pathologist with everything. And there were some bone fragments found. They were of someone that was 17 to 22 years old. The oldest child that burned in the fire was 14. Now, George used dirt dirt got transported from cemeteries and stuff onto his yard or for whatever reason, I don't know, in business. So they think that bone fragment came from the local cemetery. And also those fragments had no burn marks, no signs of being burned in a fire. Additionally, that fire has to be so hot. It is impossible. It is impossible for 5 bodies to be burned at a heat that would disintegrate all the bones completely and leave no trace or evidence. A house fire can't get that hot. Even crematoriums sometimes have trouble getting them that hot. And there are fragments left over. Like, It's impossible. So where are the kids, right? What happened to these kids? Well, he had some death threats before the fire happened. There was an insurance agent. George didn't want to buy his insurance, so he said, your house is going to burn down and your children are going to die. That was a few months before the fire. Shortly before Christmas, there was a man that was watching at least one of the children coming home from school in his car. A witness did see a man at the scene with a block and tackle. I think that is used to remove the engines of cars or trucks. The speculation is that he was tampering with the trucks, and that's probably why, even though the ladders were working the day before, they didn't work the night of the fire. Additionally, there was a piece of hand rubber found at the site, which it was napalm, or pineapple bomb, used in warfare that start fires. They found a piece. Okay, while the fire was happening, there was a woman who saw the missing children in a car. There were several reports of distant relatives having possession of the kids. Now, George went to his grave searching for these kids, as well as Jenny. Jenny passed away first, and George continued the search his whole life. He traveled all over. He followed up every single clue, mention of his kids. He never could find them with any relatives at all. After the fire, 50 miles northwest, there was a woman who said she saw the children the morning after the fire. She served them breakfast. At a Charleston hotel, a woman saw the children 4 to 5 weeks after the fire. They were accompanied by 2 women and 2 men of Italian descent, and they were just staying in one big, large hotel room. Oh, Oscar B. Hunter, that was the famous pathologist. I think he passed away in 1975. He worked on it and was just like, no, these fragments are not compatible to the children and is impossible for a house fire to burn all evidence of 5 bodies to the point of never being found. Impossible. Well, apparently, George moved from Italy to the United States when he was 13. He was anti-fascist. He was very open with his statements against Mussolini. There are echoes that possibly these are Mussolini fascists who were getting back at him since he was of Italian descent. There was the insurance guy. There were just a lot of weird circumstances. It's just really tragic. There was a sketch done of, I want to say it was Louis, years and years later. I couldn't find the sketch. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. I found it once and now I just couldn't find it. But no proof, nothing ever came of it or anything. So let's see what we can find out from the cards and the lights. And, this is just a terrible, terrible, sad story. Just awful. Let's see what we've got. All right, the Sodders. Sodders, Christmas Eve, the 5 children. That flew out. Okay. That's somebody with some information who does not feel good about what they know. It's a very emotional card. I do not believe that that is representing the mother at all, but we will see. You know, with tarot, you read the cards, but only to a point. You know, you have your intuition and you feel things, and it's all comes together for the reading. So when you read the cards literally, that's one way to do it. But I have other things that step into it that help me figure out what the cards are saying. Okay, I think we are there. Sodders. Okay, let's see what we've got. It was planned. Oh, wow, there's the king. Oh, wow. They're the 10 children. Here are all the secrets. This jumped out. This is somebody who I think knows exactly what happened to those kids, and I think it was even a part of taking care of them. I think this person has written some things down in journals or a log or something, and there's a lot of guilt with that, keeping the information to themselves. This was completely planned by this person's partner. Disruption, absolute disruption of this family. 10 children, 10 swords. I think they expected the whole family to perish. And here is your Queen of Justice, the one who knows the truth. Let's pull 3 more to see if we can get more clarity on that. Will this information ever be found out? Will it, for the Sodders, will it ever to there be found out? Oh, all from the top. Whew. Wow, these are flying. Goodness. Oh my gosh. Here's your fire of the 5 kids. Information flying. I think one day we will find out. Somebody knows what happened to these 5 children. That's insane. Here's the stars. Okay. Intuition is telling you what happened, okay? To the 5 children. This is sad. They were taken. They were taken. It was, I think this was some sort of revenge. I don't know who did it, but let's see if the lights will tell us. All right. The Sodders. Okay. Get the lights going here. Bring this down. Can you see better? Okay. All right. Set please. Thank you. Are you here? Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. So you're here to talk. We are going to talk about the Sodder fire in 1945, the 5 children, ages 5 to 14, who perished supposedly in the fire, although no evidence of their bones were ever found, or fragments, or anything in the dust of their bodies. 5 children lived along with the parents, and they desperately spent the rest of their lives trying to find out who started the fire. Apparently the phone lines were cut, not burned. It was said that the fuse box started the fire, but might have been tampered with. There were sightings of the 5 children right after and during the fire, in a car, served breakfast at a hotel, 4 to 5 weeks even later. So we want to know what happened to these kids. All right, Sodders. Did the 5 Sodder children perish in the fire? No. Were the 5 Sodder children kidnapped? Yes. Were they kidnapped out of revenge? Yes. Was it the Italian man who, all right, there's an Italian, was it? A little bit. Was it the insurance agent? Was he involved? No. Okay. So, was it an Italian revenge? Were the kids raised happy and healthy? Okay. Were all 5 children, were they raised together? No. Were the 5 children, after being kidnapped, allowed to live out their lives? No. Did the 5 children stay in the United States? Yes. Did any of the children live together? No. They were all separated. Did the 5 children ever try to contact their family? Yes. Was the poster of Louis real? Yes. Were the children mistreated and that's why they were unalived? That was a bad question. I didn't really say it right. Were they unalived by their captors, the children? Were they unalived by their captors? Yes. Were all of them unalived by their captors? Yes. Were George and Jenny ever close to finding them? Yes. Was the fire premeditated? Yes. Were the children lured out of the house separately before the fire started? No. So how did they get the kids? Were the children rescued behind the parents' back while the fire was going on? Yes. Oh, I just heard right when they were starting the fire. Yes. So they were already gone. Were the children already gone by the time the fire was ablaze? Yes. Okay, that's what came through today. That's pretty intense. Whew, boy. All right. Tomorrow, Bethany, astrologer at Pollen and Stardust, will be with me. We are going to dive deep into Kushner and Ivanka. Nerd Night, probably not this weekend, the one after. Not sure what we're going to talk about. I think we had some pretty interesting stuff to get into on that. Yeah, and then we're going to bring a little bit more on the past, my past of filming my documentary years and years ago, and how I've been in this kind of world, mysterious world for many years, and start disclosing a lot of this really scary place in Colorado that I was shooting a documentary for 4.5 years that I could never finish and have never been able to go back ever. All right. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for joining in. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show, and you guys have a great day. We will be seeing you again soon. Bye.